Okay, I have another race that I decided to partake in today, and it's in the R class at Daytona at midnight. And this is the Jackie Chan car. I'm actually really not sure who the manufacturer of this particular vehicle is, but it's awfully fast. And I had quite a bit of difficulty getting into this race. Um, I had to go through the qualifying process leading up to the race 3 different times before I finally ended up being able to participate in the race. And I don't know if that was a network issue, but I was finally able to complete the race. And this, of course, is my first lap of qualifying. And this is the sports car circuit at Daytona. They don't call it the Indy car or whatever. They call it the sports car circuit. And this back straightaway coming up here, you're able to really get up to speed, almost 190 miles an hour. And then you have to slow down quite a bit for this chicane that's kind of stuck in the middle of the back straightaway. Right here. And you can, if you do it just right, you can get through there at about 100, 110 miles an hour. But of course, I didn't do it right, right there. Although as I come around to the start-finish line, initially I feel kind of enthused because I'm on the pole. But as things progress, I ended up being ninth. And this is the portion that is the third attempt to get into the race. And we'll take a look at the field that I'll be racing against. And we have a Jackie Chan Oreca, a Chevy FLM, another Jackie Chan Oreca, another Jackie Chan Oreca, and yet another. Jackie Chan seems to be selling a lot of these cars. There's another Oreca, another Oreca, yours truly in an Oreca, 2014 Mazda, another Oreca, and we're getting ready to begin the race. And we're off. And these guys are right out of the gate playing bumper cars. And there's a blue, and I really overshoot this and don't brake properly. And this guy bumps into the back of me. That one guy right there gets past me. And this guy in this blue and red Chevy, he just completely pushes me off track. And it just really messes up the beginning of the race. And I'm all the way back to 15th place. Um, so things that started out encouraging have certainly turned in the opposite direction in very short order. So now I'm in the regain position mode, and I want to get past as many of these people as I can. However, you know, just about every one of these guys is in the same car that I'm in, so overpowering him is quite difficult because they have the same amount of power. It's just that I am able to get past this one guy here, and I brake a little bit harder than he did, but he backed off, so I gained one spot there. These guys up ahead, they're bumping into each other, and which is going to slow them down, and they're in my way, so I decided to go off track to pass them. Now I get a time penalty for that, but I did pass them, and that's probably an illegal pass. But and then this guy slams into me and drives me off track, and I lose even more positions. So now I'm back in 14th. And this is the guy that bumped into me. I'm not real pleased with this fella, but I don't want to like do a retaliatory move. I just want to beat him in clean racing. And this guy takes that turn way too wide, so that enables me to get past him with no problem. And that spin out kind of knocked me off my rhythm, so now I have to try to get back into that rhythm. That guy spun out, so I gained another position. And these cars are so fast. And then there's a couple of guys. That's that one guy that knocked me off track, and he spun out, so I gained a couple more positions. So I'm up to 10th. But what I was saying is that these cars are so fast that if you lose just the slightest little bit of momentum, the person in front of you has no problem at all pulling far, far away from you, because the cars are just, they're fast. And I'm keeping an eye on the headlights. There's some guy over here spun out, and as I go around the corner, I see that, well, I gained another spot because that guy went off track. But I'm keeping an eye on these taillights up in front of me, trying to rein in this guy. And I don't know if this guy is in another one of these Orecas, or if he's in a Chevy LMS or a Mazda. I don't know. I'll discover that once I get a little bit closer, if I get a little bit closer. Because as it sits right now, I'm certainly not gaining on this guy. He's actually pulled further away. And getting through this chicane right here fast is very decisive. And you can gain a lot of track position by getting through that fast. But if you don't brake just right, you'll end up going off track. And I'm kind of erring on the side of caution and applying a little bit more brake than maybe I ordinarily would. And I am able to get up to a little over 190 miles an hour on the straightaway, and the overall absolute top speed of this car is something like 210 or 213 miles an hour, something like that. But you don't have a long enough straightaway in order to get up to really top speed. You could, if you were, like, say you were doing the Daytona tri-oval circuit, you would definitely be able to get this car up to absolute top speed, but not on this track because the straightaways that you have aren't long enough. But I'm trying to catch this guy. This is a 10-lap race, so at some point I'm going to have to pit and get new tires. And I'm debating in my mind on if I should do it at the 5th lap or the 6th lap. If I do it on the 6th lap, I'll end up having a little bit more tire for the rest of the race. And I, of course, have no way of knowing what pit sequence the other people in the race, what they might be doing. But I'll find out as the race goes on. This is the 5th lap right here. And there's somebody else spun out over there. So I gained another spot because that guy spun out. And it looks like I gained another spot, so maybe somebody left the race because I automatically gained another spot right there. And I'm not exactly sure how I did that. And there's somebody behind me who just slammed into me. But this car doesn't have real good rear view mirrors, so I actually have no idea who it is that's behind me. And there he bumps into me again and sends me straight through this section, which ends up getting me a time penalty. And so I'm not real happy with that guy. But as I'm coming around here on this 5th lap, crossing the start-finish line, I'm seeing some people coming out of the pits. And so there are some people that pitted on the 5th lap. And there's one guy right there coming up behind me. He just pitted. He's got brand new tires, and so he's more aggressive. And then as I'm coming around through this back section, I'm preparing myself for having to get off track and go into the pits. And I make a pretty massive mistake when I'm doing that. And you'll see what I'm talking about in just a second here. I have to make my way through the chicane, and I'm trying to keep these guys in sight. And I have to brake a little bit more than I ordinarily would because I know that I've got old tires. And that guy just went off track, and I move all the way up to 5th, but now I've got moderate tire, so I'm thinking I'm going to go into the pits here. So I dip down to go into the pits, and the car just completely spins out on me, and I lose it pretty bad. And there's three people that go past me, so I end up in ninth. Um, and I head into the pits as fast as I can. Probably breaking the speed limit rules in the pits, and I take only tires, no fuel. And I'm out of here pretty quick, and there is somebody behind me in the pits there, but I come out of the pits in ninth place. And I don't know if there's any other people on the track that are also going to pit, and I'm going to be able to gain some positions as a result of that. Right now, all I'm trying to do is get around this track as fast as I can. I've got fresh tires, so I can be more aggressive in the corners. And I'm going to try to gain ground as much as I can. Because that spin out that I did, that cost me a lot of time. And that's something that I certainly can't um, blame anyone but myself for that. That was just a total miscalculation on my part. But, that's kind of what happens in these races when you participate in them. You can never really know what may or may not happen until you go through it. As long as I stay on track and I keep the pedal to the metal, I feel as though that I can catch up to the other people, hopefully. So now we're beginning the 8th lap, and I'm certainly not seeing any taillights in front of me. I'm seeing headlights heading the other way on this particular section of the track. So they're a ways ahead of me if I'm seeing their headlights on this section right here is where those cars were where you see the headlights. And I do see some taillights up there, so I may be able to rein this guy in. I don't know. But again, pretty much everybody in this race has the same car. So overpowering the competition is not an option, because this is spec race, so and I mess up big time there, but this is a spec race, so all the cars are equal. It's not like an open race where you can have an A350 and an A800 in the same race. These cars are all very closely matched as far as the performance specifications go. Hence the spec race. And I'm not seeing that guy's well, yeah, there he is. So it looks like I am gaining a little bit of ground on this guy. And I've got about a lap and a half left. So maybe I can rein him in, I don't know. He drove across the grass right there. So he seriously cut across the track. So he's kind of cheating. And he, as a result of that, he ends up being a lot further down this back straightaway than he would have been had he gone and followed the track. Now, I'm not seeing any penalty next to his name for him cutting across the grass like that. So, that's kind of odd. And myself, I've actually got 4 seconds of penalties. So that's not a good thing. And I'm on the final lap here. I still see his taillights. I'm thinking maybe I can rein him in. I don't know if he's going to cut across the grass again. No, it looks like he didn't. And based on, I'm not close enough on this back straightaway in order to rein that guy in. So he's gone. So at this point right here, it's looking to me like I'm going to end up being ninth in this race. I was certainly hopeful of a much better finishing position, but that's the way it goes sometimes. And here I'm coming around to the start-finish line for the final time. So that's my race at Daytona at midnight. I will see you on the racetrack.